Welcome to another episode of Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan. Remember that if you change the way that you think, you will alter the entire course of your life. Today, I have an amazing author with me on set. It's LaShandra Hill-Covington. She is the author of Lemonade for Sale. Welcome, Miss Chan. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, ma'am. So, where are you from exactly?
I am from Columbus, Georgia, a chocolate-covered Georgia peach.
Chocolate covered Georgia peach. I ain't never seen. That must be what y'all got in Georgia. So I would just turn the road and head on down the street. So Miss Shan, you authored a book that led to us actually meeting. That book was a part of our gathering or a meeting, and I came to a lemonade party. I believe that was part of how we met.
Yes.
Now you wrote a book about lemonade. When you wrote the book about lemonade, just tell us a little bit about what made you write a book about lemonade. Lemonade, because I'm thinking I hear lemonade for sale, I think lemonade to drink, but I'm certain that book has nothing to do with per se drinking some lemonade.
Well, there was a time in my life that I was really down. I was after choir rehearsal. I had a couple of friends come and we prayed together. And during that time we prayed, one of the ladies had a vision of me being in a room with lemons. And she said, "These lemons, you have so many lemons in your life, you're suffocating. So it's time to squeeze them out and make some lemonade." And that's how we birthed this book and the lemonade parties that are annually happening.
Wow. So you had to give birth to your book, and the lemons were suffocating you. As they said, they sent in a vision that the lemons were suffocating you. But what were the lemons symbolic of?
Situations in life, the struggles, the ups and the downs. I'm a two-time breast cancer survivor, so
My.
things that I was going through, things that I held on to, some of the things in the back, you put things in the back of your mind sometimes and you don't think about them gathering or becoming suffocating to you. You just continue on. And at that time, at that point, I was suffocating, and I really was. I had gotten to a breaking point to where I was just hands up. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
So what's inside of the book?
It's about my life. It's taking you from me being born, the things that I went through in high school, all the way down through my journey with cancer, and how my relationship and faith with God carried me through. And it just brought me to the point to where I feel like I had to make this lemonade and pour it out and share it so somebody else can make it through.
So based on what I hear you saying, Miss Chan, is that life is going to give you lemons. And I know we've heard the old adage, the old cliche, when life give you lemons, make lemonade. I'm still trying to figure out who adds the sugar, because I don't like lemonade without sugar. So I don't know if life is bittersweet and if love and kindness is the sugar that's added to it. I don't really have the answer to that in my big mind of infinite wisdom that I think that I have. But what do you think gives lemonade the sugar? Because if you make lemonade, unless the person's diabetic and can't have sugar, they want some sugar in the lemonade. What do you think gives lemonade the sugar?
The support. In my case, the sweetness that I added to my lemonade was my relationship with Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus was considered my sweetness, and the water that I had was the Word, the living Word. It was when I was going through, I didn't quite have a relationship, with God. So it was more of a, I don't know, like it was, just a very, very dark space in my life. And I was missing some things I didn't quite deal with in life earlier as a child or as a teenager. And I got to a point to where I felt like it wasn't even worth it. But once I got into the cancer and I started reading the Bible more and I love to sing. That's always been a big part of my life. Music has always been a big part of my life. So Jesus became the sweetness because it was the sweetest thing I've done.
I love it. I love it. So what I'm taking from this didactic, as you know, I'm going to give you a didactic moment here. What I took from what you said, Miss Shan, is that people have to find something greater than who they are.
Yes.
To sweeten up their journey. And you said the word support.
Support, yes.
There has to be a system. And most often when we go through, I don't know about you, but when I've gone through, somehow the mind makes me believe that I need to go through by myself. I don't know about anybody else, but when I'm going through, when I'm in my lowest points, my mind makes me believe I don't have anybody. My mind makes me believe nobody cares.
Yes.
My mind makes me believe nobody wants to hear about it. And so it'll cause you to go into a place of mental isolation. The mind is going to make you or lead you to believe that you need to do something different. So while we take this break and while we just give you a moment to just reflect over where are you in your journey? What are you doing right now to change the trajectory of your life? And if you're in the middle of lemonades or a lemonade situation or lemons, squeeze those moments and squeeze on and hold on. That's what I see when I'm holding on to a lemon. There's substance inside of that. Hold on to that moment. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back.
We'll be right back with Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan. Now, back to Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan.
Welcome back to Breaking Through Your Now. We're glad you decided to let us join your the rest of your day. But we have Miss Shan here. She's going to finish telling us about the lemonade. And I think we took a break right when we started talking about people and the support system. We talked about the sweetness that you said that you applied to your lemonade and you applied to life. And I want to take a moment because you said something very important. You said that you were a 2-time breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
So I want to give all thanks to God because it's only God that allows us to go through something so tumultuous and then we still are surviving.
Yes.
And we're still living and we're still thriving. And not only did you not stop living at that moment, you went far enough to put your thoughts, your feelings, your experience onto paper. What did it feel like whenever you went back and read what you wrote?
It felt so surreal. It didn't seem like it was me. I knew that I had went through it, but it didn't seem like I went through it, you know.
Wow.
Just going back and knowing how I was able to overcome all these things. I went through storm after storm after storm. I had been in so many storms too where I was used to it. I was like, just give me a raincoat, give me my rain boots.
So, in other words, if you didn't have a storm, you thought something was wrong.
Yes. I had been through so much too. It was just a norm to go through these storms.
And so, when I hear you say that, I think about people, and I know that it seems like that when we get into a place, and it seems like some things I don't say. I don't say same old, same old. Like some things I just don't openly affirm into my life. And I actually believe affirming, declaring, decreeing that my day today is the best day of my life. And people's like, you said that yesterday, but yesterday is gone. This is a new day. So this is the best day of my life. And I'm even intentional, even if I'm affirming, not to affirm what appears to be, but to affirm what I know to be. Yes. Because what we see is only temporary. Anything that is in front of us is going to change. Anything that we can visibly place our eyes upon will change. But there are some things that we can never see or touch that are eternal.
And we have to get to that point. I had to get to that point. Like I said, going through storm after storm, I expected the rain. But the rain was needed for growth. And I knew the sunshine had to come.
Sunshine, because if sunshine don't come, you're going to kill the flowers.
That's
and
right.
You're going to kill the seed. You're going to drown it.
And because I had the sturdy roots, and the sturdy roots meaning my grandmother and my mother, even though my father wasn't in my life as much when I was younger. I still had uncles. I had a strong, sturdy foundation with family. And because I had that sturdy foundation, my tree was able to grow and produce fruit. And it was producing good fruit, but it took time for me to understand that I had to take this fruit off this tree, squeeze it, turn it into something beautiful, and pour it out and share it.
Yes, and then you know what else that you had to remember? You had to remember that it is not the process of growth that determines where we go. It's the ability to sustain
Yeah.
the mind, the ability to remember that you are more than a conqueror. Because if you get defeated in your mind, you get defeated in your journey. So I'm just grateful that you had people around you that kept you encouraged, because you do sometimes, everybody doesn't have that. It's not everybody's story. Everybody doesn't have an auntie, uncle, cousin, and friend who's going to come in and remind them, encourage them. Sometimes you literally are dragging along in life by yourself because you've been put into a system called child care protective services, and they've come in and removed you from your family. You've been put into foster care and you've aged out. So you don't know your biological family. You didn't have a healthy relationship with your foster parents. And now you feel like, well, Miss Shan's story is so unrealistic for me because she talked about having an uncle, a cousin, a mama, a grandma. But I'm here to tell you, if you have one person that still believes in you, if you have one person that loves you, if you have one person that count on you, you can do great things. Miss Shan, we have about 30 seconds before this segment ends. Tell them where they can find your book, Lemonade for Sale.
It's on Amazon.com. Lemonade for Sale / LaShandra Covington. I also have the books myself, but you can go on there. It's an ebook. We have a paperback book. You can also contact me at shanslemonade.com. I'm also on Facebook at Shan's Lemonade. And LaShandra Hill-Covington, I'm also on Facebook. So hit me up. Get you some lemonade.
It's been absolutely amazing having Miss LaShandra here with us today. More importantly, it's been amazing reminding you that even if life gives you lemons, you have the opportunity to create lemonade. You've tuned into another episode of Breaking Through Your Now. We have another guest coming up. Keep it locked in right here. We will be right back.
We'll be right back with Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Dolores Tarver coming to you with a mental health moment. 3 tips to manage depression. 1, get up every day, put on some clothes, brush your teeth, take a shower. When you look better, you feel better. 2, be around other people. Stinking thinking will tell you that nobody wants to be around you. That's simply not true. Being around other people, even when you don't feel like it, can help you feel more connected and less depressed. 3, it's important that you maintain some purposeful, meaningful activity. So even though you may not feel like doing anything, get up and do that gardening you enjoy. Get up and read those books you enjoy. Get up and go for that walk and get some sunlight. Do something for someone else. Meaningful, purposeful activity gives us hope. And hope is one of the most important fights that we can have against depression, because hope allows us to know that this is situational and it will end. Be encouraged.
Now, back to Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan.
Welcome back to Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan. As I told you, we had another amazing guest, Miss Lisa Robinson. Miss Lisa Robinson is joining us. Miss Lisa Robinson, welcome to Breaking Through Your Now.
Thank you, Miss Sybil Sloan. I'm happy and gracious to be here.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
So, where do you hail from? Where are you from?
I hail from Columbus, Georgia,
Okay.
where I was grown, bred, and just excited to be here.
Exciting. Well, you know, we're excited to have you. What I would like for you to encourage in the area where I want us to, I guess, release your story or express your story, is how the transition of life can cause one to question their purpose. And for whatever reason, I know that you have a great story about life and transition that can cause one to question their purpose because life didn't pan out the way that you thought it was going to pan out.
And that's true. You never know what God is doing for you or to you or with you. And to be in a position and you get people that tell you what you're going to do and who you're going to be, but until you realize who you are yourself and whom you are in God, you just never know what that purpose is. And you question God. And God, is it me? Am I worthy? You sure you call Lisa Robinson to be in this place at this time? And had family issues, grew up. My grandmother raised me, so that was my rock. And to be a staunch woman of God and to be under her, but not to the point that she had a thumb on me, but she gave me the foundation. And to know that you're walking and with someone in a place that's trying to guide you, but you don't open your mind. So until you open your mind and know your purpose or ask God, what is it? And stop. They can pour into you and tell you who you are, but until you realize who you are in God, and God reveals that to you, and He'll do it. And He has a great sense of humor when He does it too.
So you said something. My grandmother was very, very instrumental in my rearing as well. So I used to say if something happened to her, I was going to lose my mind. Like that was my story to everybody until God actually allowed her to transition. And then it was like when I wanted to just lose my mind, I heard her voice come and say, "Why would you do that? I'm in a better place." So as I hear you talking about how literally I worship God. This is going to sound taboo, but it is what it is. I worship God through her. I revered God through her. I understood God through her.
Yes.
It was her prayers on the floor at night, morning, in the scripture, in the Bible. I lived Christian through her.
Right.
It wasn't a sibling God experience until I got older. It was a sibling through her grandma experience because she gave me she said, well, you can't go there, you can't go there. This is not what a woman of God does. This is not what a Christian does. And at that point in my life, I don't think I was trying to be Christian. I don't even think I was trying to be anything. As a matter of fact, I think I just was trying to be a kid. But it was like the standards for a kid matched the standards of a grown person. So they tended to say, we're grown. That was one of their favorite words. But if they ever scrolled back and looked, you took our childhood away from us.
Yeah.
Because you made us do things that grown people did. And not necessarily things that kids did. Because things that kids did was, wow, well, no, you need to sit down. Well, you're making me be this person, and then you don't want this person to exist. Exactly. So it wasn't until I was even 20s. I can't say 20s. 20s, I was trying to get into a relationship with God. I was working on it, but I was still afflicted in my mind because it was church that told me now I got to get married or I'm going to hell.
Wow.
So I did it. So tell me more, like when I hear you talk about your grandmother and I hear you saying you had to self-identify. When did you have, as some would say, that aha moment where you was like, no, Lisa, that ain't it. That ain't it either.
Right. My aha moment was back in 2000. I ended up losing my job, and it was Christmas time. And I said, what am I going to do now? I have 2 kids that I'm having to take care of. I don't want to disappoint them in this Christmas time. And I got to a point that I was like, God, you said you would take care of me. You said you would never leave me. So in that time is when I truly grew closer to God because I knew I had to depend on Him. I couldn't depend on anyone else. When I got to that place, and truly is when I started tithing, is when I started giving to God. God, I'm not even making what I was making when I was working, but because you allowed me in this place, I'm going to give you what you've asked me. Once I started doing that, and God just started showing Himself to me, and I started trusting Him more and depending on Him more, that I still got 2 babies I got to worry about taking care of, and God saw me through it, and people would come and bless, and all you had to do was just say a prayer. And when they say God hears your prayers, He hears your prayers when you're going through. To know that you got to take care of your seeds, and there was nobody else there but you. So in that time, in 2000, is when I truly grew closer, and I got my kids into a place, because my grandmother always kept me in the church. And I was like, you know what? I'm at a place now that you all are going to do the same thing. I say, at least you will have the foundation. They say you're going to stray away from it, but you'll always come back. So I want to give you that foundation. What you do as an adult, you're not going to go far because it's always in you. And I was grateful that for that time. That was that growth period for me in 2000.
Wow. So what I'm hearing you say is that you had your Damascus Road experience.
Yes, ma'am.
And it came by way of a job loss
Yes, ma'am.
around the holidays. And I just want to say to everybody, because I think it's really important that we know that no matter what you have going on, no matter what you're experiencing, you have to know that it's only temporary. And you must know that no matter what you're facing, it gets better. But you have to know that there's a source that's greater than you. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with more Breaking Through Your Now and Miss Lisa Robinson.
We'll be right back with Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan. Now, back to Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan.
And we're back with our final segment with Miss Lisa Robinson, and we're going to finish just talking about and encouraging, because what I want to do right now is encourage a mother, a father, a grandma, a auntie, someone who's gotten to that place in life where you don't have the answer, where you don't have the resources within your own thought processes, in your own bank account, in your own wallet. And we're going to just give you some hope, because if nothing else today, we want to hope you so that you can have hope. And it says faith is the substance of things hoped for. So you talked about it being at a place, and you said you started to tithe and you started to give of your income as you were led to believe in your belief system. That was the mechanism for you doing and operating where God wanted you to operate. And what is something that you could say to someone who's in that place? We know that we're in the midst of life where there's so many things going on, and people dying, people losing their lives, people becoming ill, people becoming sick. What would you say to someone who's gotten to a place where there's no hope, where it looks like everything that was is no more?
There is light. Though you're in that dark place, there's a glimmer of light that God is trying to peek through and to touch you. And you have to crawl up and just peek out and see that light and crawl toward the light. And I say, even after my grandmother died, then my aunt died, and then my dad died. And it was like, y'all left me. So that was my dark moment. But there was still light, because I had the Word of God in me, and I had what was taught to me, and I had my foundation, that I put all my trust in God. And God, you would never leave me, nor will you forsake me. So even in the midst of that dark moment, in the midst of that time that you're down, know that there is a God. Even if you don't know God, you know you're not there by yourself. That there is someone even praying for you. You are in someone's spirit. Some intercessor is there. They feel you. So in that midst of that, hold on to hope. As Apostle Sloan has said, hold on to hope that you will get through. You will make it. And then once you get there, my dad used to always say, he was a minister, and he used to always say, there are three things that you're doing. Either you're going in the storm, you're in the midst of the storm, or you're coming out. So look to your coming out. And we have to go through the things in the midst in order for that to be perfected within us, in order for us to know who we truly need to hold on to. And then once we get through it, they say Jesus already got our hand. He's going to hold you. He's not going to let you drown. He's not going to let you drown. Look toward that light, to that hope, and get out on the other side of the storm.
Wow. So it says, my show, of course, is Breaking Through Your Now. So she said, if you could just get through. You don't have to know what's on the other side, but just know there is another side. There is the other side. That if you went in the tunnel, you gotta come out. If you went in one side, there has to be an exit, because life just presents itself. It's always an exit, and for every situation we find ourselves in, there is a way of escape. So if you're going through, I have a friend who used to say, if you catch a hell, don't hold it.
Don't hold
and if
it.
you're going through hell, don't stop. So if you finding yourself in the midst of something, the one thing you can't lose is hope. And what I didn't hear you say, but what I have to believe was a resolve, is you had 2 babies.
Yes.
So although those people that you looked to were gone, the people that were looking to you were still there.
That's it, and that was my strength.
And sometimes you gotta fight for the people that's looking to you,
Yes.
not the people that you look to.
That's it.
Because somebody's counting on you. So I'm telling somebody, some man, woman, boy, girl today, somebody's counting on you to make it. I know we in this world of haterism, and we think everybody hating us. You know, one of my friends, he said, everybody don't like you, but everybody don't hate you either. So somebody's winning, somebody's betting, as they say, somebody's betting on you to win. And if nobody in your spirit is betting on you, I'm betting on you. Life Coach Sloan is betting on you to win. I'm betting on you to break through this moment, because you are greater than you could ever imagine. But you don't get to see how great you are until you get through the hole. Because the tunnel is small. But when you get to the end, it's so vast and so big, you almost forget. If you stay in a storm or a tunnel too long, you forget what light looks like until you get close to the end. And it says the darkest hour is just before day. I tell people, you don't understand how it works in a bottle until you get through the neck of the bottle. There's 2 places that you're going to find space: below the neck and outside of the bottle. We just got to decide where we want to be. Just know, if you're in the neck of life and that situation is constricting you and it seems tight, you got a couple ways to go out, but you can get out. So what would you say to someone today to encourage them on their journey in life? On their journey in life, if they felt like children wasn't enough, if they felt like they couldn't make it, what would you tell them in 30 seconds or so of how they can make it?
Trust, pray, and believe God. Just hold on to it. And you don't have to say a long prayer. And all you have to do is just say, help me, God. So even in that, and you truly believe it and have the faith, then you can make it through. Just hold on. Have the hope.
And as she said, hold on, I'm not going to give you the adage that says tie a rope, tie a knot, and hang on in there. I just want you to hold on in there. Because I tell you, it tells us the comfort and the solace is knowing that he keeps us and he holds us in the hollow of his hand. At least we dashed our foot against a stone. So I'm saying to you, you can make it and you will make it. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us this morning. It's been an absolute pleasure with you tuning in with us. And we're inviting you to join us every week on Breaking Through Your Now. And remember, more importantly, that if you change the way that you think, you will alter the entire course of your life.